Welcome back. In this portion, we're going to look at how do you handle exceptions. You can write programs to handle exceptions, not so much syntax error, but handle exceptions. So let's look at these codes here. While it's true, we will try receiving the number from the user. Basically, it's asking for an input from the user. If it's correct, then it will break out of the while loop. Okay, and if however the user enter not a number such as string, it will print the value error and say, oops, that was no valid number. So let's try again. So we're going to try this. Try. Okay, oops, that was not a number. Then you ask why. Okay, it's not very smart. So if you want to stop, any number will stop this program. Okay, then it stopped right away because there is that break there. So the try statement works as follows. First, the try clause is executed if the try, meaning these two lines here, okay? This block of codes here. If no exception occurs, the except clause is skipped and execution of the try statement is finished. If you get an exception, okay, during execution of the try clause, the rest of the clause is skipped. So when this is actually, raise an error, it will quickly jump to this except. Okay, so the except is kind of like a catch-all. All right, when you actually have an error, exception, error. Okay, if an exception occurs which does not match the exception name in the except clause, it is passed to outer try if there is another try outside. Okay, if no handler is found, it is an unhandled exception and execution stops with the message as shown above. Okay, so that's very useful there to help you. So typically, a try statement may have more than one except clause so that it actually picks up all the different types of exceptions. At most, one handler will be executed. Handlers only handle exceptions that occurred in the corresponding try clause, not another handlers of the same try statement. Okay, so that part is actually quite important. We also talked about this. An except clause may name multiple exception as a parenthesis tuple, such as except you have runtime type error and also name error that picks up everything. So the try and except statement has an optional else clause, which when present must follow all except clause. That is useful for codes that must be executed if the try clause does not raise an exception. Okay. Now, having done that, there's just one key thing that I want to mention here is that when you write codes, it's actually a very good practice to do this. Try and except. If necessary, then you use the else. Reason being, you have no idea what kind of input that you may get. Having this make your code much more robust and makes it a lot easier to handle error and don't actually give you some sort of weird behavior. All right, with that, I'm going to stop. We already covered this really key concept here on how to handle exceptions. When we come back, we will cover raise exceptions.